Hi everyone, it's Joe at Key Consulting here, and this video continues our manufacturing series. Across this series, I'll be showing you how we can use manufacturing in Business Central by manufacturing 4 component items into a table. In this video, I'm going to be showing you my location setup that includes production start and end bins, and also warehouse picks and putaways during the manufacturing process. Just a warning, I am using manual flushing methods for all items and work centres, so if you're using different flushing methods, consumption may act differently. But hopefully in future I will post a video showing how different flushing methods behave. You can still follow this setup as a guide, as a lot is still the same, just flushing methods will change posting and consumption behaviour. So let's jump into Business Central and go to locations. I'm going to be using a location that I've made called JBW. So let's go into here. So first off, we've got bin mandatory ticked. And this means we're going to be using bins, which is required in my manufacturing setup. I've also got required put away and pick ticked as this is part of my warehousing, but that's all explained in our warehousing videos. Next, under the production heading, we have production consumption warehouse handling. And I have this set to warehouse pick mandatory. What this does is it allows us to use warehouse pick documents to take components from their storage bins and place them into a manufacturing bin. These items will then be held in the manufacturing bin in BC until we post the consumption in the production order, where the items will be removed from inventory. The reason I chose warehouse pick instead of inventory pick is because the inventory pick will immediately post the consumption instead of placing the items in a manufacturing bin. With warehouse pick, components will be consumed when we post a production journal at the end, which confirms our output and components used. Below, we have production output warehouse handling, and this is similar to above, but at the end of the manufacturing process, we will use a warehouse put away to move the item from the manufacturing end bin to the item's actual storage bin. We then scroll down to our bin settings. We have a production tab that contains 2 production bin. This is the bin where BC will store our picked components during the manufacturing process, as we just mentioned. So I've named my 2 production bin prod start, as this is where items will be held when we begin the manufacturing process. Below it, we have the from production bin, and this is where items will be held before we put them back into storage at the end of the production process. I've named this bin prod end, as this is where items will finish the manufacturing process. So let's just go into our bins and have a look what I've got set up. So for this manufacturing process series, I've got 4 bins that I'm going to be using, but of course you can use as many as you like. Here we can see the prod start and prod end bins that we just mentioned, and as you can see, they're just set up as normal bins. The only difference is that we assign them to the 2 production and from production fields on the previous page. I've also given them a zone code called manuf to indicate that they are used for manufacturing. My other 2 bins that I'm going to be using are our storage bins. So I have one called components, which will contain the table legs, table tops, screws, and varnish. And my finish bin is where my table will be stored when it's completed manufacturing. And again, I've given them a zone code storage just to indicate this. And that is all of the location and bin setup required for my manufacturing process. So in the upcoming videos, I will go into the items, bombs, routings, work centres, and the production orders to set up and use manufacturing in Business Central. I've been Joe at KC. Thank you.